Ivory Hunter is Chico, and with that sort of breeding should be right at home in the heavy track conditions. And Chico paying $7.35 and $2.70 the place. Starting to load away now as we get the red light there. 7 True Zam, one of 2 runners from the Bill and Mark Wheel stable in the event, the other one being Hud's Mate. Many chances in this event, and True Zam not the least of chances as well. $7.70 and $2.40. Vinnie Colgan to do the riding. Some great odds on offer as we look at number 9, Ice Pick, a winner 2-star to go at Te Rapa. Last time out to finish 4th also on the course at Te Rapa. That was in the Highview Kashani Stakes. Quite a good race too. The race was won by Just Apollo. But Ice Pick stepping up to 2100 metres here today. $9.25 and $2.95 the money. Glorious afternoon here at Ellerslie, and a good sized crowd here on course as well. Obviously looking forward to the DB Draft steeplechase at 2:45. Looks as though we're about set to go. Jacobson Headstones Handicap. Let's join Radio Pacific's LB Gain as the last couple are about to come into line. And the favourite is still number 2, the Jacket.
They're almost set to go. The first leg of the TAB treble, the Jacobson Headstones. Peppers stands 1 on number 2, True Zam Ready Calm Heights. Starter has the button, looking across at his field. They're racing. Away they go in the Jacobson Headstones handicap. The first leg of the day's TAB treble. Peppers pounced reasonably well on the inside. Calm Heights is safely on the journey from Fair Score. Hampton's Choice going up towards the leaders. Dropping out last is Chico. Ice Pick got back with Nandina Heights, and getting back also is Kentucky Tom. As they race and settle now, the leader is Fair Scores. Cut away 4 lengths on Calm Heights on the outside. Hampton's Choice. They're followed then by Hud's Mate with Romantic Heights, and down on the rail then is the Jacket. Out wider on the track then to Peppers, who's racing about midfield, about 3/4 then to True Zam. Glenveigh came next to Tassenberg. 5 lengths Kentucky Tom. 3 away then Ice Pick. 1.5 lengths to Nandina Heights, and Chico has whipped them in. Into the back they go down past the 1450. There's 14 to 15 first to last, and Fair Score slipped the cutter on this field out by 5 to 6 lengths over Calm Heights. Nick on the outside to Hampton's Choice. 1.5 in the clear. Hud's Mate followed by the Jacket. Romantic Heights 3/4 of a length away. Out wider then we've got Peppers. They're followed 1.25 lengths back then by True Zam with Tassenberg, Glenveigh, Kentucky Tom. Third last is Ice Pick, and second last is Chico with Nandina Heights. Up the rise though in Fair Score, coming back to this field, led by 1.5 lengths to Calm Heights, and 1/2 on the outside then is Hud's Mate. Peppers moving up on the outside. Next is followed by the Jacket, the favourite on the inside, just been urged along. True Zam is coming into it with Hampton's Choice. Off the back, 800 metres to go. They're followed then by Tassenberg, Romantic Heights, Kentucky Tom, Ice Pick and Glenveigh, Chico and Nandina Heights. There's 1 or 2 making runs from the back as they run round with the 600 metres looming up, and the leader is still a Fair Score from Hud's Mate. There's Peppers galloping into the party, followed by True Zam. Romantic Heights making a fair dinkum job of it out wider too. And then we've got Chico and Kentucky Tom. Tassenberg, they race towards the bend, just over 450 to go in the Jacobson Headstones handicap, and the leader is out wide, Kentucky Tom from Peppers. Then Chico winding up down the extreme outside. There followed Ice Pick, Tassenberg, Romantic Heights, and out wider Glenveigh. Chico has gone to Kentucky Tom. There followed Ice Pick, Peppers on the outside, Glenveigh, then Tassenberg, True Zam and Nandina Heights. Chico in front, came from last at the 800. Ice Pick is trying to go to it, and Kentucky Tom still fighting hard. Chico in front for Collett, 100 metres to go. Chico is drawing clear. Chico Too Good has beaten Ice Pick in a photo with Kentucky Tom. Then came 3 lengths away True Zam. Peppers ran 5th. In behind them Tassenberg, followed Nandina Heights, Glenveigh. A gap then to the pacemaking Fair Score, Romantic Heights, Calm Heights, Hampton's Choice. Then Hud's Mate, and the favourite, the Jacket, is pulled up last of all.
Number 8, Chico, in the hands of Jim Collett. It's been quite a successful carnival for him, and also for his brother Richard Collett, who trains the horse. Richard trained Rosier to victory earlier today, and they also had another winner on the opening day of the carnival on Saturday as well. So informed trainer and informed rider do the job here. Number 8, Chico, 4-year-old by Ivory Hunter, and Jim Collett, the rider, gets there by about 2 lengths. Second over, I think the inside horse will be second. That is number 9, Ice Pick. and alongside of it is 5 Kentucky Tom. And they were well clear of the opposition. But Chico taking out the event is owned by J.E. Arnerich, and as I mentioned, trained by Richard Collett at Pukekohe. Jim Collett, the successful rider. Chico's a 4-year-old chestnut gelding by Ivory Hunter out of Cheekoke. Settled well back, as it invariably does in its racing. Swooped on them at about the 350-metre mark, and over the final stages just proved too strong and drew away to win it, and win it nicely. You find 9 Ice Pick in second spot, ridden by Tommy Nicol, and the David Peak mount of 5 Kentucky Tom in third position. Jim Collett about to salute the judge. The country's leading jockey racks up another win. 8, 9 and 5 with number 7 True Zam in fourth position. While we await the dividends, the Burlington Air Express win movers for the 7th at Ashburton, and number 6 Silky Bow opened at 5.25 and now to 4.55. 11 Regal Strike from 7.90 out to 10.05. 8 is Handsome Stranger into 4.65. 17 Gleaming from 17 into 14. 2 Farmbria from 20 out to 26, and 12 Daytona from 19 out to 25. And looking at some of the well-supported candidates, still a weighted driver for number 3 Bionic Hanover. It's at 13 and 5. This event due off at 20 minutes past 2. Silky Bow, Ken Barron, 4.55, 170. 8 Handsome Stranger, John Hay at 4.65, 160. Disco down at 16 and 5.40. Regal Strike is at 10 and 5, and number 15 Clever Rowan at 6.55 and $2.40. Good odds for those on the last page. Number 17 Gleaming at 14 and 5.05. 20 minutes past 2. The race start time for the event, but Chico and Jim Collett stride to victory in the first leg of today's TAB treble. 8, 9 and 5 the judges call, and number 8 Chico has paid $7.05 and $2.65. 9 Ice Pick second, $2.65 as well, and 5 Kentucky Tom was third, paid $3.75. The 8 and 9 Quinella, $38.50. The 8 and 9 5 trifecta, $683.30. So Chico, the winner of the Jacobson Hairstones Handicap. After the break, we'll head back down to Ashburton at Ashburton there, and Rion Murthy, our man trackside. Good sized crowd building up for our feature today, though, the DB Draft Steeplechase.
How did you go?
I think they're looking for someone younger.
I'm just nipping out for a few minutes.
With Men's Choice from Clairol, you can blend away any grey naturally in just 5 minutes. And no one need ever know.
Any luck?
Well, they're looking for someone older.
Men's Choice from Clairol. No one need ever know.
He was bred and raced by the Aga Khan. He was the winner of the Irish Group 1 National Stakes. Bloomsbury Stud proudly introduces Mantari.
Mantari has absolutely annihilated them as they race up towards the line. Mantari striding away under John Murtagh. Mantari turned this Smurfit National Stakes into an absolute procession.
Well, welcome back to Ashburton. We're here for race 7 now. This is the second race of our TAB double today. It's the Redpath Electrical and Welding Series final pace. All the horses that are competing in this race have performed with distinction on the first day of the meeting on Saturday. They were either placed second, third, fourth, fifth, I think, or even down as far as sixth in some cases, getting into this field for the final, a $7,000 event for maidens. And the favourite for the race is number 8, Handsome Stranger. That's number 17 right in shot there, Gleaming, and David Butt drives this horse. David, of course, who was successful with Above the Stars at Moonee Valley in the Victoria Trotters Derby on Saturday night, has flown back, and he has the drive behind Gleaming. It's his first drive today, and Jim Dalgetty trains the horse, and of course it was having its first start for the season on Saturday and was a very outstanding finisher for second in behind Bionic Hanover. Was probably one of the eye-catching highlights of the race, the finish Gleaming in that event after it was sort of buried back in the field, had a changed direction in the straight, but really flew home to run second behind Bionic Hanover. Very powerful finish. So Gleaming suggested with that run that it's going to be a chance in this. A very big, upstanding looking horse, as you can see. He's only a 3-year-old and looks as though he's as fit as a trout and ready to run the race of his life. And David Budd, of course, one of the informed drivers here in the south this season, has the reins. First day was driven by Jim Curtin, who hasn't been driving here today. This horse, number 8's the favourite, Handsome Stranger, and it had 2 good performances down south for a 3rd and a 2nd, and then on Saturday came out and won really a bit like its name, handsomely. Handsome Stranger it's called, and it was back in the field, moved up to be fairly handy, about 3 wide as they went out of the back straight, but ran home very well to win it, and it was quite a stunning win on the part of Handsome Stranger. So the punters think that on the merit of that performance that they've elected to make it the favourite. And I dare say there's a bit of southern money on it as well, $3.50 and $1.65. Here's another horse who win a good race on Saturday, number 15, Clever Rowan. It had no luck whatsoever. It got badly checked with 1,000 metres to run, then it ran into more trouble when there was a bit of a skirmish about 300 metres later, nearly fell. And then in the straight it got an interrupted run again and ran home very strongly for 4th. So it was a sort of a black book next time starter, and on the strength of that run, then it must be a big chance in this race too today if it gets anything sort of short of a run. And you'll find that Clever Rowan's at about $7.65 and $2.80. Peter Baggery, the trainer driver of this horse, and of course those colours, more familiar with Burlington Bertie, a horse that's been racing in the open grade with distinction in the top class. Still several chances in this race, judging by the form, of course, from Saturday's maiden events. Starters about to call them forward now. Disco Down went a good race the other day. Ivan Schwamm's colours there, the brown with the pink spots. And it didn't get much of a run in the early stages on Saturday. It got left parked for the most part of the race, and it still fought on very well. Ended up in 3rd spot behind Bionic Hanover. In the immediate foreground there is number 6, Silky Bow. Horse had disappointed a little bit after being the favourite on Saturday. They've put a tail tie on it today, so whether or not that disturbed its performance on Saturday we don't really know. But Silky Bow, Ken Barron's driven 3 out of 4 today, so he's the informed driver, and Silky Bow expected to improve on its run today. So they're just about set now for the Redpath Electrical and Welding Series final pace. There they go, and beginning pretty well near the inside, Farnborough. Bionic Hanover out fairly well for Peter Jones, but showing stacks of speed in the outside. Disco Down goes straight to the front. Hot Sombrero's out with them. They were followed out in behind them by Little Soldier. Tangling now is Admiral Arizona. It's drifting back through the middle of the pack. Round the outside goes Daytona, and Silky Bow's on the move as well. You Need a Dream back on the inside, and amongst those is Handsome Stranger. A little wider out on the course now as they come round the far turn. They were followed by Rockney Star. Then there's a gap of 2 or 3 lengths further back to Gleaming the outside. Royal Nugent 14 the inner. A length and a half further back now to another first day winner and Regal Strike. Nicely held together again today by Jack Smolinski, but back in the field at this point. And they were followed then by Admiral Arizona. Clever Rowan's on the outside, and back on the inside of those now is Happy Native, and that's the field. And as they race down through the straight, they've 1,700 metres to go, and Disco Down's in front of Bionic Hanover. Running 3rd up wider on the track is Daytona in the red colours. In amongst those, Silky Bow dropping back to catch the 1-1. Farnborough's up against the rail. Moving up and around the outside of those now is Rockney Star as they race through the straight 13. They were followed a bit further back by Hot Sombrero on the bright pink sleeves. Past the judge they go, and You Need a Dream down in the inner. Little Soldier was next, followed by Handsome Stranger. Royal Nugent back on the inside to Happy Native with Gleaming outside that. Admiral Arizona and the Red Cross sashes back near the reel with Regal Strike, and last of all now is Clever Rowan. Round the turn into the back they approach the 1,200 metres now, and the leader Disco Down by about a length and a half. Running in 2nd spot the outside Rockney Star, and Bionic Hanover getting the trail. It was tracked up on the outside by Daytona. Farnborough number 2 on the inside. It's followed forward on the outside of those by Silky Bow number 6, and You Need a Dream down on the inner. A length away to 5 Hot Sombrero, followed by Royal Nugent in the checkers. Next to that on the outside is Little Soldier, number 18. Happy Native down on the inside on the black and white hoops, and taking off around them, Gleaming. It's being tracked up in the centre then by Handsome Stranger, and over on the inside of those, number 7 just behind it, Admiral Arizona. A couple of proving Clever Rowan and Regal Strike. They're going for the rear, and Admiral Arizona's galloped again, but they've raced past the 600 metres on their way out of the back straight now, and Disco down the leader from second spot. Rockney Star and Bionic Hanover's getting the run. Daytona was next with Farnbury on it, and the pace is going on. Regal Strike is getting a lot closer, followed by You Need a Dream, looking to get out of a tight spot. Back on the inside to Royal Nugent. They swing for home, and very wide out to Handsome Stranger, but round the turn they come. 300 metres to go, and Disco down in front. Here comes Rockney Star after it, and then Bionic Hanover looking for rooms, had to swing out 3 wide. Farnbury, a Little Soldier coming from the back, and further out to Handsome Stranger. Disco down in front, Rockney Star. Now Bionic Hanover's trying to draw them in, and Little Soldier's coming late. Disco down, Rockney Star, Bionic Hanover, Rockney Star, Bionic Hanover, but as they go to the post, Rockney Star's held to win it from Bionic Hanover. Then on the inside, Disco down, Little Soldier, Hot Sombrero Gleaming at the head of the rest. Then on the middle would have been Farnbury. It was followed home by Royal Nugent, and after that Handsome Stranger, Clever Rowan, You Need a Dream, Silky Bow, then Regal Strike, Daytona, followed by Happy Native, and a gap to Admiral Arizona. Turned out to be a good race, but Rockney Star, horse that was very well supported here the first day, and in the hands of Craig Buchan, has scored. Number 13, Rockney Star, from the Mosgiel stable of Craig Buchan, and trained and driven by him under a hard drive here. Disco down, just holding tenaciously to the lead. The stage Rockney Star just got the measure of that, and Bionic Hanover may have just cost a little bit having to change ground 3 wide, but it was flat out here trying to draw in Rockney Star, but the winning post just came too soon, and Rockney Star's got home by about a half a length to a long neck from Bionic Hanover, Disco down, and Little Soldier, and the rest of them found the pressure too much and have dropped off. So Rockney Star, number 13, the 6-year-old by Rockney Lobel, and trained and driven by Craig Buchan up from the Dunedin stable of Mosgiel, or Mosgiel stable, right next to Wingatui. And Wingatui, of course, we've got races coming from there today, but Craig Buchan very happy with himself, and as he comes back to Scout at the head of the field, we'll head back north to Wanganui and Alexander Fields.
Thanks very much, Rion. Let's have a look at our Burlington Air Express win movers for race 7 from the River City. It's the DB Draft 10,000. 10 Oscillate. Impressive winner on the first day. Opened at 3's out now to $3.45. 5 Burridge is shortened up from $4.45 now into $3.90. 9 Woodcraft from 20s into 15s. 11 True Devil from $9.25 into $8 even. Number 4 Fax has moved out $4 to $18.40. And 6 General Arthur has moved out $5 to $25.60. Number 1's Ace at $4.95 and $1.65. 2 is out. 3 Donegal Lad at $14 and $4.40. 4 Fax at $18 and $5. Number 5 Burridge at $3.90 and $1.65. 6 General Arthur at $25 and $7.40. 7 Rough Planet at $21 and $5.60. 8 Captain Scarlet at $14 and $3.35. Number 9 Woodcraft at $15 and $3.30. 10 Oscillate at $3.45 and $1.45. 11 True Devil at 8 to win and $2.35 the place. 12 is out, and 13 Sir Arctic at $58 to win and $12.75 the place. Let's have a look at the latest market for the big one from Ellerslie, the DB Draft Great Northern Steeplechase. Number 1 Sydney Jones at $5.10 and $2.40. Tina Egan. 2 Bawana Michelle Hopkins at $2.50 and $1.15. 3 is out. 4 Classic Heights Paul Fitzgerald $7.55 and $2 even. 5 Cooper X Hilly Rides at 6 to win and $1.85 the place. 6 Extra Time Ken Brown at $32 and $7.15. 7 Mossy Ridge Craig Thornton at $18 and $4.55. 8 Black King Tony Gillies at $10.95 and $3.15. 9 Joyful Dude Brett McDonald at $19 and $4.40. 10 King's Table Brett Scott at $20 and $4.40. And 11 Single Man Glenn Lynch at 15 to win and 3.45 the place. Good luck to all of those riders in the big one. In the north, meanwhile, we come back to Wanganui with our DB Draft Racing Service. Race number 7 we're up to here, and this is the DB Draft 10,000. And good to see DB Draft. This is probably one of their biggest days, Tony. They're sponsoring all over the country.
Yes, outstanding effort by DB to kick in. Well, they do it right throughout the season, but this is a very big weekend for them, as you said. The DB Draft Steeples, the Northern today. The big sponsors here, of course, they sponsored the steeplechase here, and they sponsor this as well, the DB Draft 10,000. So a real pat on the back for DB, doing so very well. Yes, this is the favourite, only just though, Oscillate. He won here on Saturday, so the horse packing up today at $3.45 and $1.60. Won pretty well, and so long as that run hasn't harmed him at all, proved he handled the conditions okay. They're probably a bit more testing today though, Alexander.
Yes, they are, Tony. It's a real slog out there. It's survival of the fittest. We have seen horses that have not backed up from the first day in the past already today, so let's just hope Oscillate, the way he won, he's certainly got to give it another sight.
This is the one they're backing a fair bit late, number 5, Burridge. And the odds, $3.95, $1.70 for the place. Trained by Noel Eel, second equal on the Trainers' Premiership, just 5 behind the O'Sullivans. And to be ridden by David Walsh. Noel Eel's David Walsh have had a great association for a long, long time now. The horse resumed with a 6th at Manawa 2 on the 20th of May. Should strip fitter for that. And a definite prospect. Got plenty of ability, his Burridge. The Noel Eel's factor, never to be left out of calculations.
And the horse does handle bad ground, and that's in his favour as well. So race number 7, they're all but set, courtesy of Radio Pacific, as number 7, Rough Planet, goes forward for Julia Ritchie. Let's join Tony.
He walks forward. So 325, 175 Oscillate. They're loaded up now for the DB Draft 10,000. First of the double. Light on. Set to race. They're off. Away they go from the top of the straight here, and Woodcraft just a touch slow from near the outside. General Arthur's going to get back a bit in the running as well. Now, over on the outside, True Devil's ridden for speed to go up outside of Donegal Lad. Rough Planet inside of Captain Scarlet and Fax. General Arthur inside of Sir Arctic, and Oscillates around those wider out. Zace behind them, wide out Burridge, and Woodcraft is back to last as True Devil gets the front, and he takes a hold. From Donegal Lad over on the inside, then Fax, Sir Arctic, and Oscillate out very wide. Captain Scarlet one off the rails, Zace, and the next 10, boy, some of these are wide, including Burridge, who tracks up Oscillate. The favourites travelling wide. General Arthur back on the inside, and Woodcraft is the last as Donegal Lad works to the 1400 metres. From True Devil on the outside, and Fax makes a line of 3 outside of those. Captain Scarlet fourth between Sir Arctic the outside and Rough Planet the inside. Then Oscillate outside of General Arthur, who's between runners now. Zace third to last to Burridge, and 2 lengths to Woodcraft, the last nearing the 1200. And here Fax has gone around to stride to the lead. Fax in front from True Devil, Donegal Lad on the inside. Then we have Captain Scarlet over on the outside of it, and wider out is Sir Arctic. The next General Arthur outside of Rough Planet. Back in the running now, Oscillate and Zace in a packing field. Woodcraft looking to improve, and second favourite Burridge is last. But they're packed right up here. They're jammed up like a pack, like a tin of sardines. And there's only about 4 from first to last. And as they work to the 800 metres here, Fax taken on by Sir Arctic. And look at the local Woodcraft become prominent. Working on down the side of the track. Just in behind them, True Devil, and on the inside, Rough Planet. Captain Scarlet, Oscillate, and Burridge now goes forward. Then General Arthur. Zace goes forward out wide, and Donegal Lad on the inside. Still only 5 lengths first to last as they work on down the side. Fax and Woodcraft, Oscillate, and Burridge is peeling right around the outside of these as they come down the side just before the corner. Now starting to get close to them is Zace as well. And then we've got in behind them General Arthur as they go for home, and they'll look for the outside running. We're here in the centre. Fax, Captain Scarlet the inside. Wider out Burridge and Oscillate, and Zace is going to come right down the outside with its run. We've got Zace outside of Burridge. Oscillates line third and trying to find a bit. Burridge is the leader now. Zace on the outside and Oscillate over on the inside. Burridge in front. Burridge from Oscillate and Zace, and Burridge goes on to win. Another one to Noel Eels from Oscillate and Zace. And then we had Captain Scarlet, Fax, Woodcraft behind them, Rough Planet, General Arthur. Then Donegal Lad, True Devil, and Sir Arctic. It'll be the last of them home. Bunny was right. Number 5, Burridge, in the hands of David Walsh at $3.90, and $1.55 for the place has ousted the favourite, number 10, Oscillate. As we take a look now at the auto check replay, Burridge in front, Oscillate trying hard on the inside. Zace had just come to the end of it a bit about here at Burridge, and David Walsh, nigh on unbeatable in front, this close to home, takes a hold and has the situation pretty well in control, about a length and a half at the line from Oscillate, and Zace over on the outside will run third. So the first 3 favourites, first 3 home, and Noel Eels takes 1 step closer to the premiership. Now 4 off the pace as we have the previous from Ashburton, the result available with Alexander.
Thanks, Tony. Good to see David Walsh, one of only 4 riders to achieve the feat of riding over 100 winners on the River City, adds to his score on Burridge. Number 13, Rockney Star here, paid $28.35 and $5.75. 3 Bionic Hanover at $4.15. Third was 10 Disco down at $7.25. The 313 Quinella, $193.50. The 13-310 Trifecta, $7,219.60. The double on races 6 and 7, 6 Warlord with 13 Rockney Star paid $26.70. Concession with 3 Bionic Hanover at $6.05. The sub was number 8, Handsome Stranger. The treble at Ashburton on races 5, 6 and 7, 11 Julia Brandon, 6 Warlord and 13 Rockney Star, $468.30. The subs in leg 2, number 6 Warlord, and leg 3, number 8 Handsome Stranger. Let's join Kevin Payne.
So the field all but set now for the running of race number 7, the Await West Runner, which the Punters Club have got $10 each way on. It goes in now. West Runner at good odds, $12.95 and $3.50. Favourite is Bob Dobolino, number 1, $3.65 and $1.65. They're set now at the 1600. Racing. And again, another perfect dispatch it was too. On the outside, Isa made a good beginning with also West Runner, Noble Queen, Peach Pie. They're all in that group. So too then trying to poke out in front. We've got Fox Moth. Then came on the inside of that runner next then was Stormy Seas. It was followed back then by Peach Pie, now third. On the inside of that runner just kicking through was Joe 2, then High IQ. That's followed back on the outside of that runner next then to Isa. Isa was followed on the outside then to West Runner. Then came on the inside next as they travel down the far side. Let's Chance It. In that group also then as they work their way down is Rossini back on the inside of that to Cayenne. Noble Queen on its outside. Then came Bob Dobolino, the favourite, a little wide. Jack of Argyle on the inside. Then came 5-star Peter Noble Promise last. Working their way off the back now. And the leader is Fox Moth. From on the outside of that runner is Peach Pie. Then came Stormy Seas, the centre. Going around them a little deeper out West Runner. Noble Queen in that group. Then came Bob Dobolino wide out on the course. Followed then by High IQ, Rossini. Then a little wider out to 5-star Pete. Jack of Argyle. Noble Prom commences a run. Followed back then by Isa. Isa was followed well back then by Cayenne, who is last just in front of that runner is Let's Chance It. And now dropping away Joe 2. Around to the 400 metre mark they come. And hugging the inside fence then is Fox Moth. It's Fox Moth but wide out on the track. Peach Pie might have the lead. 5-star Pete coming after it. Noble Queen right there. Bob Dobolino down the extreme outside. In behind them Jack of Argyle and West Runner. The leader now 5-star Pete. Wide out Bob Dobolino's coming after them also. Bob Dobolino on the outside of 5-star Pete. Jack of Argyle and West Runner. 5-star Pete. Bob Dobolino. 5-star Pete. They hit it. I think 5-star Pete might have just nosed out Bob Dobolino. Jack of Argyle, Noble Prom and West Runner. Then followed back by Rossini. Then came Noble Queen, is followed in by Peach Pie. Fox Moth on the inside next, followed in by Stormy Seas. Then came Let's Chance It. Then further back on the outside, Cayenne. That was followed back then by High IQ. Then came Isa. And on the inside, Joe 2 has come home at the tail of the field. Sure to be close between the first two, Bob Dobolino, or on the inside 5-star Pete. Be a head up, head down affair. Bob Dobolino possibly with the angle in its favour, but I think possibly the head down at the right time to 5-star Pete, number 2, just ahead of Bob Dobolino, and Jack of Argyle would get third. So there's the running of race number 7, and we can cross back up north now and rejoin George.
And back here at Ellerslie, we're only 7 minutes away from the running of the 111th DB Draft Steeplechase, and the runners just making their way to the start. Now the favourite is number 2, Buana, from the Ken and Ann Brown stable. Half the field is from that stable as we look at the Burlington Air Express Wind Movers. 5 Cuba Rex opened at $5.40, now paying $6.20. 1 Sydney Jones at $5 even has come in from $5.50. 4 Classic Heights from $7.80 into $6.85. 2 Buana is the favourite now at $2.70 to win. 7 is Mossy Ridge from $15 now to $17.35, and 9 Joyful Dude from $19 has been backed into $17.35. The market for the DB Draft Steeplechase number 1 Sydney Jones, Tina Regan, $5 even and $2.40. 2 Buana, Michelle Hopkins at $2.70 and $1.25. 4 Classic Heights, Paul Fitzgerald.